Yes. All right, so we got Craig here and Trent. We're about to start a little weekly, bi-weekly channel updating everybody about the Florida Arm Wrestling League. Um, we're just gonna hype ourselves up. We're gonna bring some of our boys on here, chop it up. This is gonna become the FAL Hangout, this little podcast. So, anybody that's got opinion on something, we're gonna bring them in. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna bring people on talking about the money and the awards, and we're gonna bring our light and sound guy. Every little thing, everyone can get introduced. But with that being said, we have Trent Johns on here, our head referee for FAL. We got Craig Soblair, our official hype man for the league. And over here to my right, I've got the two-time amateur state champion as of Saturday, Chase Carruthers. So we're pretty much just going to go over some things about the tournament, what you liked, what you thought was innovative, anything like that. I was at the practice at Matt King's earlier, and the number one thing that everybody talked about, and he wasn't even there, but the triple weigh-in. Game changer. What do y'all think of that?
Go ahead, Craig.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Trent.
I like it because it helps, like, people that live in Jacksonville or South Florida, it kind of helps everybody be able to hit that early weigh-in if they want to without having to drive an extra 4 to 5 hours back home, and then try to drive right back the next morning if they want to try to do early weigh-in in a hotel room. It definitely helps relieve a lot of people's stress about making that weight.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and just to piggyback off what Trent said, I think it's really good because it builds some kind of Robert, you get to have other people involved, other gyms. So it kind of gives a little more exposure so people can go to the weigh-ins. And like Trent was saying, it gives people the opportunity to not have to travel 2 hours if they're cutting weight. It makes it a little more convenient and fair for everybody else. And I feel like it just gives us a sense of community. That's what I was trying to say earlier, is like, so that you get other people involved in it. I really feel like it makes it more official.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, until we are getting paid travel and flights flown in and everything, coming to that tournament 2 times is absolutely terrible. And I started this because right before the weigh-ins, a week out, kid messaged me from Tampa and said, "Hey man, I'm about to drive 2 hours there, 2 hours home, and come back 2 hours there, 2 hours in the morning. Can I do a video weigh-in?" Absolutely not. But we got the convenience of the video weigh-in when we're doing the 3 locations. We did the north, south, and central. This dude would have had to drive 4 hours just to weigh in, and that's a super supporter. The last thing you want to do is inconvenience the super supporter.
Exactly.
Want to cater to, but you can't cater to them with the video. You got to keep it legit. So, I mean, dude, you know how nice it would have been to I pulled the Florida State 7 times before I won, or 6 times. Imagine if you wouldn't have had to drive and you could have made the early weigh-ins. How much more of an advantage you'd have had. I skipped the early weigh-ins almost every time, just I didn't want to make that drive. There, back. I wasn't going to buy the hotel. Truth is, about half these arm wrestlers are arm wrestling on a budget. And I know I did that before. So the guys that can save the money in the travel, they can go to more tournaments, and the last thing we want to do is keep the participation down. So that guy also that weighs in the night before, he's now committed. He might have been on the fence if he didn't weigh in. Now he's committed. So I think it's only going to drive participation up, which is going to drive the prize money up. Everything like that. The key to all this is growing. The more people we get in Florida, arm wrestling, the absolute better. So we're always going to keep that triple weigh-in. We're going to a new system of format where we're going to run the amateurs in a 4-hour block and the pro in a 4-hour block. So rather than having a mixed 8-hour event like everybody else in the country, where you're sitting around, you may have got to pull pro left, but then you got to wait around all day to pull pro right. So we're going to be blocked off from like 9 to 1. We're going to do amateur tournament, board ceremony, all that. Them guys can go home. They can stick around for the pro tournament and sign up in that, but the pros won't have to show up until about an hour before they're actually arm wrestling. So it's going to change everything. The biggest complaint in arm wrestling is how boring it is to watch and how hard it is to follow after 8 hours. How much you fall asleep between classes. So this double, it's basically going to be two different tournaments, you know, an amateur and a pro tournament, completely separate time blocks, is going to change everything. The speed and ease of everything is going to be better. Every single person's experience there will be better. I'll be able to focus more on them guys because I'm not pressed. I don't have 300 entries breathing down my back. We're managing 150, and it, you know, so it overall, I think that and the triple weigh-in is just going to be sick. They're going to, it's absolutely, the arm wrestling experience is changing 100%. For you guys to not show up, how would you feel if you showed up and I ran pro right and left instantly?
I love it.
And then I do the pro award ceremony after, and you can go home.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can, you know, me being a ref, of course, I'm going to be there the whole time. But if, you know, when I first started out, you know, like for instance, Daniel took me to Mississippi State for one of my first tournaments. We were there for 11 and a half hours. We pulled left-handed, and I had, yeah, you were there. We pulled left-handed, and then it was 6 hours before we pulled right-handed. It's just your adrenaline dumps. You know, you start getting tired. You don't really feel like arm wrestling. So I think the triple weigh-ins is definitely going to help. What you're saying now is, you know, doing the amateurs in the morning, pros can show up later on it. The ones that didn't weigh in, or if they already did, they can go have breakfast with their kids, their wife. They can go sightseeing if they've never been here before, if they flew in or drove down. It opens up a lot for people. It's going to make a lot more people want to come.
Nailed it.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's one of the downfalls for an arm wrestler trying to peak, you know, getting there at like 11, 12 o'clock and not pulling till 6 o'clock at night. It's such a challenge. And that event that Trent's talking about, I was there and I had a super match and I was going to pull the tournament, but it was just so long. And after already kind of committing to a match and then waiting and, you know, having that adrenaline dump, I just ended up, you know, going back to the hotel and watching the live stream, which was a great event, but it just drags on so long, and 11 hours to try to, you know, focus and perform. I feel like what you're going to do here, Brandon, is I think it's going to be a game changer. I think you're going to have a lot more people wanting to compete and really be able to peak for an event, man, and not be dragged out all day.
Yeah, imagine if you went to go run the 100-yard dash against Usain Bolt, and I didn't tell you what time of day you were going to race.
Exactly.
That's what we're experiencing right now, and from an athletic standpoint, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, and I think once you get this going, I think it's going to be. I think a lot of people are going to adapt that philosophy because I've been wanting to see that happen. You know, in my 10-year career, I mean, you know, pulling and watching the amateurs pull, I always thought that it should be reversed. I always thought the pros should pull first so the amateurs could actually watch some professionals pull, and then they could actually learn a little bit while they watched. And then, you know, if the pros wanted to stick around and watch the amateurs, but, you know, I just feel like separating that, I feel like you're going to get the benefit of both worlds there.
I agree 100%, man. I think that first of all, I think all these ideas and what we're doing for this league is super innovative. We're going to get a lot of copycats soon. We're going to see that triple weigh-in instantly. I guarantee people are going to start doing that next month or two. There's no reason not to. You try to find a downside to that, and you can't. There's no downside. That guy traveling feeling like shit is not any more fair than anything else. And, you know, splitting the tournament up into two, it may take us doing it the first time, but I guarantee it's going to be better. How would it not be better? You know, it's essentially treating it like it has half the entry. Twice. So you know, the pressure of just having a smaller tournament itself, smaller, it's the same size brackets as there would be. If there was 8 amateur 220 guys, there's still 8 amateur 220 guys. You just don't have all the other guys coming up asking you, hey man, what time is pro class? What time is this? What time is this? You can damn well guess that if it's a 4-hour block for the pro tournament, that the pro left is probably going to be the first 2 hours and pro right's probably going to be the second 2 hours. Seems pretty straightforward. You know, it's not a lot of complication. So I think we're going to see people taking, you know, and I hope everyone does take this idea and run with it. But dude, what we're doing down here is wild. It's wild. Did you guys, I mean, what y'all think of the tournament?
I mean, I think I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I think it was the smoothest ran, but all out best tournament that I've seen in Florida to date. And I've
What'd you
been,
think?
and I
What'd you
traveled
think
a
with your eyes?
lot.
Dude, it was visually crazy when I was walking around there.
Yeah.
3 camera angles. I mean, they had a bundle of cords that looked like you know, a yacht's rope or something. I mean, there was so many wires in there, TV screens, equalizers. We had lighting set up. Seeing everyone in these jerseys, it looked insane. We looked almost like we were at Zlot in there. Now, not level of production or nothing, but the same way it looked around. If you zoom in enough and you didn't know that we were in a bar, you just thought we were on ESPN at some angle. I mean, it was
Oh,
sick, dude. The custom tables. For the first time, we did the chain barrier around that blocked everyone off and kept them from like huddling around in a semicircle. Uh, you know, 1,000 things, man. But I thought it was visually the most appealing tournament I've ever been to in the United States outside of UAL.
Actually, it kind of reminded me of UAL in Chicago. Like when I got there, because I've been at your tournaments since day one, and when I got there, I was so blown away by the setup. Like you said, visually, the chain, the organization, the structure of everything. So, I've been in the sport for 10 years, and this was the first tournament I ever went to that I didn't compete in. So I really got to watch, did some commentating with you on the live stream, but I really got to sit back and, I wasn't stressed out. I wasn't, because you're in a zone every time I compete. I'm never focused and really appreciated of the pullers and the matches and just the tournament overall. And yeah, I was super impressed, man. And I see nothing but huge things happening as we improve. I mean, think about that was the first time it's actually been done that way for us here, and how smooth it went. I just thought it was totally amazing, and I'm just looking forward to 2023 because I think so many big things are just going to happen, not only with the production value but also the quality of pullers that we get to come and showcase in the state of Florida. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited, man. And I know you guys are also excited. So it's just, I see nothing but improvements in the future.
Yeah, dude, that was as raw and unrefined as we could have. I mean, that's the first run. Imagine how shitty you are at something the first time you do it.
It's
So,
horrible.
dude, the fine-tuned product of that is going to be. I mean, it's hard to think how much better it can get. But dude, when we finally tweak this and it's going to be insane. It's already insane. And dude, I mean, I could tell you 10 ways I can still improve.
And another thing too, what I like is, everybody that's, a part of this is actually active pullers, and, so like with the triple weigh-in, I mean, because you're a puller, how convenient that is for us. And, I really feel because we have high level pullers here in Florida, also, on our board here with the FAL, I just feel like because that you know you just don't have some promoter out there that is not competing, that just wants to make money. We also have people that are passionate about making the sport great. And I just feel like because we're all active pullers, we've all traveled, we've all seen events before, it just gives us the upper hand on how we can cater to make these events so smooth for the competitor.
Yeah, dude, let's talk about that for a second. I'm glad you said that. Let's go ahead and break down a little bit of the structure of FAL, and so people can get more familiar with how it's run. So first of all, no one's involved in this that's not an arm wrestler. So this is arm wrestling for arm wrestlers by arm wrestlers. This is in no way a dictatorship. No one is deciding 100% on anything. So me and Chance are essentially running the top, and we have a committee of 8 members that we cannot decide on, or I'm sorry, for matters we cannot decide on. So, good example is this banner behind us. I really did not want these flames in it. I was so passionate about it. Me and Chance did not decide on it. So rather than it sitting here and it just be his way, whoever, we took a vote on this through the committee. The entire committee, like 7-1, wants the flame. The Flames ended up being badass. I was wrong. When I walked in and I seen that, I was like, "Dang God, I have this committee." Because the thing is, one person's vision on this isn't going to make everyone happy. But if we do this like a democracy where we're voting, we have everyone has a say in it. It's absolutely totally catering to the masses then. And the other thing too is, dude, there is a role for every single person in Florida Arm Wrestling League, even all the arm wrestlers, anybody. If you think you're good at something, you're a crazy hype man, you can promote, you can do any, message us. Every single person that wants to be a part of this can be a part of it. If you're a security guard and a bouncer and you just want to mob the door and work the door for us, we need a bouncer. We need a guy for every little thing. And so if you think you can do something and help enhance this, maybe you do webpage. Maybe you got an embroidery business, something like that. I don't know. Message us because we want every single person involved. We got 150 bodies that arm wrestle here. We want 150 partners. So that's an important thing. This is in no way, this isn't, WAL ran by Steve Kaplan, which was dope, but in the end, it was just what he says goes. And that's not what this is going to be. This is 100%, everyone's deciding on things, and the business practices of this is the other most important part. In Florida, we've been lied to numerous times without saying a lot of people's names. A lot of promoters promising things down here, and nobody delivers on it. I try to pride myself in never promising something I don't have, but what we promise here in the next couple days is going to be guaranteed. We are putting a massive cash prize in an escrow account that's going to be there before the first tournament even starts, and it's for the finale. Everything that we do is going to be in 100% good business practices. Our books are going to be auditable at the end. Everything is going to be on the up and up, which in promotion is extremely rare. Most promoters are crooks, for lack of a better term, and they're lying about one detail or the other. They're telling there was less than, this is going to be 100% public. Everybody can look at it, see our growth, see, our prize money should increase with the growth, and our participation, our production should raise, and you'll definitely be able to see it. But that is going to give us the most, you know, bit of respectability and trustworthiness in the arm wrestling community. There's going to be a big amount of money we've already injected into here. We've got some huge sponsors. I don't want to announce exact dollars, exact details yet, but we're bringing on Dan Shaw as our FAL treasurer. This guy is a mastermind with business itself. He's going to help us run the business perfectly in a auditable business where we can file taxes and run it perfectly. But the thing is he's adding his credibility. He's going to be in charge of the finale prize money. I do not want one person involved in this to question my credibility or just that will the money be there? The money is there. Hey, when I announce coming, it's already there. It will be there. If two guys come to these next tournaments and that's it, these guys are going to win the money. So I recommend you show up to them. This points race is going to have 10 points race or 10 events and then the finale. So consistency is going to pay. Even if you're the type of guy taking second, third place, if you take that at all of them, you very well could have the most points. And the money is going to be sick at the end. It's going to be there. We're going to do a cool award ceremony and all this at the end, but you do not need to worry about the cash. We are 100% going to have the money at the finale, what we announced. And we've hired Dan Shaw to be our treasurer to ensure that, everything is ran absolutely smooth and it should, which is a huge move. I mean, dude, we have audio visual. We've hired Robert Kelly as our audio visual guy to come back out. He killed it at Florida State. He's going to do all the FAL events next season. We're going to have custom FAL handles for sale. We're going to have supplements on the side. Pro Gear is involved. They're one of the big sponsors. We've got Eclipse Tattoos, one of the big sponsors. We got a whole bunch of stuff going down. So what you see now, even though it looks like it's huge, this is really a small fraction of what we're going to roll out in the next 60 days. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't think people are really going to understand or be able to really fathom what's really about to happen in 2023 from what you and I've discussed and everything going on. Honestly, I feel like we're going to blow every other federation pretty much out the water with what you and I've been talking about the past couple of days.
Yeah, dog. And I'll tell you, for us to be successful, we don't even need to do any more promotion or so. Like, we're already across that threshold where we're successful. All we got to do is run the event, and the money's, So this isn't one of these things where we have to hopefully do good and then there's money. No, the money's there. And we're bringing in, I can't really say who, but we're talking about bringing in huge sponsors soon. We're in the talk with them. Just what I've narrowed down right now is already huge, but it's a small drop in the bucket. This branding and this imaging right here is incredible. When I show this to people, they are absolutely jumping at the chance to be on board. So I thought that tournament was insanely cool. I didn't get to experience it as good because I was involved in the production. I didn't get to just be a spectator. But man, I didn't really hear many people that did not enjoy the raise and the quality of everything.
No, I had a bunch of people come up to me and was like, "Man, this is probably one of the best tournaments I've been to. They love the banner, they love the live feed, they loved y'all commentating. They thought the refereeing was probably some of the best that Florida's had in a while. I mean, I got to give it to all the real. I think we all done a great job. There was no hiccups. Everything to me ran very smoothly for pretty much our soft opening. So a little bit of tweaking here and there, and we're going to be right there with the best of them."
I agree. Let's ask this guy. So this is Chase. This was his second tournament, first tournament he ever went to of mine. Somehow he comes to the best tournament we ever hosted is his first time. So he thinks this is all I do is host stuff like this. What do you think when you walked in there? His last tournament, in all fairness, was Biketoberfest, which is a good venue. We're using that venue next year. I mean, it's got the big like 60-foot American flag background. The girls in pasties selling drink. Like it's a crazy event. But what did you think of when you walked into this?
I mean, if I were to compare it from,
Not to compare it, just what do you
don't
think of this
compare
one?
I mean, it was absolutely awesome. If I was to tell anybody that had never arm wrestled before, or that that wanted to get into it, I would recommend this right here 100%. I mean, it was amazing. It looked great. I felt great. I felt like I was a superstar out.
How legit does it feel to send those photos to people rather than just in a pair of jeans and a cutoff? Everyone's got a gift in their back pocket.
It feels great. It feels like it is big, like it is. You know.
Yeah, I started arm wrestling 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and it was the same way it was up until 3 months ago. Which was great. It was fun, but it was just barroom style. We're taking this all out of the bars. Next year we have one event inside a bar. Just before we're going back to that. Pure loyalty. They love us, we love them, but every other event is on a massive stage, outdoors, huge light. It's going to be insane. So I just couldn't imagine if my first or second tournament I went to was like this. You know what? It actually was. I take that back. My second tournament was Jesse Gonzalez, is where he had like Don Underwood and Lupke's pole, and it was very, very good looking like this. But you just lucked out. And not to say this is better than anything else, but just to come here at that particular moment, your perspective of what we actually do is a little skewed. We normally been doing this a lot less organized than this in the past. So. What was your first feeling when you walked in and seen it? Because you didn't know what the production was you didn't know what the setup would look like when you got there, did you?
Oh, I did. When I walked in, I was like, "Holy crap! Like this is legit. Like it looks good." Like I already walked in, and normally I walk straight over to you, or I walk to somebody and say, "Hey." And I walked in, I kind of stopped for a second. I was like, "Dude, this is like legit. This is awesome. I feel like I'm walking into a known federation, and I'm fixing to be up here with some of the top guys in the country. Like it looked legit."
Yeah, well, we need to look like we are, right? We got some bad dudes, legit pullers, but we got to look the part now. Everybody's stock raised. Every single person in their stock is raised with this.
And you got to think about this. Like you said, this is our soft opening. First tournament under FAL. And we already have guys like Wilton Brock came back and pulled with us. You had Jonathan Breida and Herman Stevens show up. I mean, it's already getting out there. And then once they go back, because Breida told me that he loved the tournament, he thought everything was awesome. He was putting it right up there with everybody else. I mean, he thought it ran great when I left, and when I talked to him before I left, and he's like, "I think everything went good. This was awesome." So I mean, that's going to get it around. Breida's a well-known arm wrestler. He talks to a lot of people. If they bring it up, he's like, they ran it really good. You need to go there and check it out. It's going to get people from all over wanting to fly in. I guarantee it. When they see how legit this looks, it's going to take the arm wrestling world by storm.
Dude, we were so blessed. We had people from Washington, Utah, Arizona, Puerto Rico, Canada, New York, Louisiana, Texas. I mean, there were dudes Georgia. It was, I mean, there was more out of state support and I mean, dude, from other countries that I thought it was crazy. You know, the other thing with this branding, man, to think about is like, let's pretend that you're looking for a sponsor, right? You're trying to get Joe Pressure Washing to sponsor you. Well, when you send him the pictures of 6 months ago, first sending him the picture with FAL, he'd get involved with something like that, you know? It's a real good look for the sponsors. It's a good look for the athletes that want to get sponsors. The professionalism, I think, is going to overall, you know, raise the value of just everything. It's going to make it easier for us to draw money in, more prize money. It's going to have more participants. The caliber of arm wrestlers is going to go up, and we're going to get to look as if we should already. You know, arm wrestling, or sport arm wrestling, has a really dope scene. We got 200 arm wrestlers that bowl at least twice a year, and most states don't have that. And just to organize that, and there's no one. I mean, there's no competition for FAL. Any competition, we just fly them under the FAL banner. This is a pure cooperative. This, you know, we have no detractors. I mean, everybody is on board with this. The guy that's hating on this. I don't know what he wants to do. Go back to the Stone Age. So, I mean, I think, dude, it's just going to push us into the stratosphere. I know Herman and Breed have seen it. You know, I know they can, and they do good shit. Contraband Days, Texas Arm Wrestling League has some good stuff, but I think by this next season, we're probably going to look for that.
I agree with that. I mean, like, you know, once again, I would keep saying it, but, you know, for our soft opening, you know, like I said, I haven't traveled as much as you guys, but, you know, I've been to Mississippi State, I've been to Alabama State, I've been to South Carolina, Georgia, all that stuff. And to me, we were right up there with Mississippi State. Like, we were right there for our South opening. I mean, that was an awesome tournament. You know, kudos to Sean and them for what they do there. But
we had cooler jerseys.
Our jerseys were definitely cooler, for sure.
They were for sure
but,
cooler.
I mean, as far as like the atmosphere and everything, like you said, we have other things in the works that you and I talked about. Like, you know, we're gonna blow everything out the water. I don't think within the middle of the year, we're gonna be on top of the list.
Yeah, man, I'm rolling out the prize money this weekend. It's gonna blow you guys' mind.
Yeah, they're not ready.
Absolutely sick. We got an awards budget that is phenomenal too, dude. We expect some of the very coolest awards throughout the whole season too. You know, and for amateur and pro, it's gonna be super sick. But yeah, we want to go back on the show. We're probably gonna do this, you know, once, twice, 3 times a week. Whoever wants to be on this show, if you think your boy should be on here, comment down below. We're gonna look at the comments, see who's the next person to have on here. I think our next guest is we would like to have our treasurer and the co-owner Chance on here. We may do that Monday. But if you want to get on here, your boy, somebody, get on here, man. This is going to be the spot you can hop on and make your call out. We'll do like a 15-minute block where anyone that makes the call out can hop on. This is going to be the FAL Hangout. This is going to be the archive for information. You know, this is Florida arm wrestling news and your Pradeep strength. If anyone has any questions about the FAL, anything, comment, you know, feel free to message the Florida Arm Wrestling League Facebook page. And, you know, share this YouTube page. We're trying to grow the YouTube page to 1,000 subscribers so we can start to go live on YouTube. The goal is to do that in the next 60 days. We need you to share it, watch it, and comment who you think we should have on the show next.
I just need to get me a cool banner for behind me so I can be like y'all.
Craig doesn't even have a banner. His is some digital thing.
It's all fake. It's all fake news, baby. All fake news. But to piggyback off what you were saying, yes, anybody that wants to come on here and talk, promote themselves, their matches, you know, this is how we're going to really blow up the sport, get sponsorship, and really kind of work together as a community and really push this brand to the next level. I'm super excited, man, and looking forward to joining you guys again in a couple days. We'll have Dan and Chance on here. I know Chance has a big match against BJ Fakakis this Saturday, so we want to wish him the best of luck. He's out there supporting the FAL, and you know, with great pullers like Chance and all the other great pullers in Florida. It really gives us an opportunity to really expand this league, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I just see great things happening, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys in a couple days.
Absolutely.